Hello BU, I'm your host Calvin Adams here at BU News at 6 o'clock. Last week we discussed how to use a smartboard in the classroom, and that was quite interesting. This week we have a surprise for you. We will be interviewing Google News expert Sean Rickman on the various types of Google tools available for use in your classroom. Now let's cut to Sean and his Google Labs in Connecticut.
Hi, welcome. I'm Sean Rickman. I'm your head ICT guy at the Google Labs in Connecticut. Today we're going to be looking at some interesting Google apps and tools that you can use in your classroom or at home. We're going to be looking at Google Earth, Google Docs, and iGoogle. So let's now take a trip through time and go through Google Earth. I'll show you some interesting ways to use it, and let's get started.
Alright, so let's take a look and see what Google Earth has to offer. If you haven't already done so, you can download Google Earth by simply searching it on any search engine. It's going to bring you to the earth.google.com website, and as you can see here, a quick link to download Google Earth. If you don't know, it's free, so it's not going to cost you anything, which is very nice. Since I already have it downloaded, let's just go straight there. So here we are in the Google Earth program. If you don't know, Google Earth is an interactive map which you can use to search all over the world certain geographic features that you might be interested in. So today I'm just going to show you a few that I find might be interesting in the classroom. I'm not going to show you them all because there is so much out there, and I feel you should search on your own so you're more familiar with them. So let's take a quick look to Brandon, Manitoba, since we're all familiar with it. You type in Brandon, Manitoba in the search bar, and it's going to fly us straight there. So Google Earth has presented us with an overhead view of Brandon, Manitoba. We can now zoom in and look at different parts of our city. One tool I'm going to show you quickly is the use of the ruler. As you can see right here is the icon for a ruler. So we click on that, it's going to give us this little box. What this is going to do is it's going to give us straight line measurements between two objects. Let's say we want to know the distance between the university and the Shoppers Mall. Since we're all familiar with Brandon, we can see 18th Street right here. If we zoom in a little bit, we can identify this as the Shoppers Mall. We have the parking lot of the mall here. So let's zoom out, follow 18th Street, and find the university. Looks like we got it right here. Let's zoom in and make sure. Yep, appears it's university. We have the library here and the Faculty of Ed building right here. So let's say we want to find the distances between those two places. All we have to do is simply click where the university is and scroll our mouse down to where the mall is. You can see the mall right here. So we'll click, and what we can see is the measurement right here. It gives us to us in feet, but in the drop down menu it has varying types of measurements. Let's go to kilometers since we're familiar with that. So as you can see, it's 2.35 kilometers. A tool like this I find can be very useful in your math classroom or even a social studies classroom. Well, there is a very quick and dirty tutorial of the Google Ruler tool available to you. The next couple features I'm going to show you are very interactive and interesting, and I think your students might enjoy them. The first one is virtual tours. Google Earth already has loaded into it various virtual tours. If you go to Earth Gallery, you can view them there. So let's take a look at Rome. Since I already have it loaded, let's check out that one. So as you can see in your places, this is where they go. So it gives you a bunch of different places within Rome that it's going to give you a tour of. Up here you can see double click to play a video. So let's go there. So now here we are about halfway through our virtual tour. The nice thing about the tours do is they allow you to pause them. And as you can see, rolling over different buildings is they're highlighted. When they're highlighted, that means it has certain types of information about them. This is what makes these virtual tours so interactive. Is here the students can click on these and find out information about that building. This one here just gives a street view picture, which isn't that interesting. Let's say we click on this fountain. So here we have the name of the fountain. It's the Fountain of Neptune. And if we click on model, it'll give us a brief description. You can also notice it gives us a Wikipedia link. So it'll link us straight there and give us an overall description of what that is. Another nice feature of the Google virtual tours is you don't have to watch the whole tour to see what's available. If you go over to your places icon over here, you can see different things in Rome that you can look at. So let's take a look at the Colosseum. So it'll fly us straight there and show us what the Coliseum looks like and give us a brief description about this. I don't know about you, but I think this is very cool, and I think your students would love this. Not only can you do this in Rome, you can also make your own virtual tours or get your students to make them as a project.
Alright, so that was a look at Google Earth. Hopefully you found some useful tools and ideas you might be able to use in your classroom or outside of the classroom. Now we're going to take a look at some Google Docs. We'll go through the same process. Video screen capture, show you guys some other interesting ideas.
Well, here we are, back at the Google homepage. The first thing you have to make sure you have is a Google Gmail account. So I'm going to sign into mine so we have access to Google Docs. Well, since a lot of us are already familiar with Google Docs because we've been working on it throughout the semester, I'm just going to outline a few things that you probably don't know about and that you could potentially use. First of all, we all know that Google Docs is a good collaboration tool. We can create certain documents that a certain number of students can work on at the same time. This can be great for homework outside of the classroom or even inside of the classroom because we don't have to work on one computer with 5 students trying to work together. They can all be on separate computers working simultaneously. So we're aware of creating documents, so now let's show you what we can use inside of those documents to allow for greater collaboration. The one thing I found very interesting is within the presentation option is there's a chat option. So we'll just go to one that I've created before and look at that. So we'll go to Balloon Biceps. It's going to load up here. So if we click Start Presentation and we click View Together, we have the option to chat with whoever is viewing the presentation. All you have to do is type in this URL and you can share it with them. So I can say, "Hi Catlin," and he's going to be able to see that. The one thing that you're going to find very useful with this is while you're presenting, your students can ask questions that you can answer to them so they don't have to raise their hand and interrupt the class. Another very cool thing is say the student has input. Say he has a video he may want to watch that he thinks other students might find useful. If you know the link, all you have to do is type in the link here. So I'm going to just paste the YouTube link that I copied earlier. So here it's loading a video. If I click play, you're going to see a simple video that a few kids in the other class have created for the do's and don'ts of ICT in the classroom. The nice thing about this is all the students that are viewing this presentation can see this and they can add their input on how it relates to the topic at hand. Let's just watch this for a little bit and see what happens. I think we see Mike Rainey III come in. No, that's no good. Pretty good video, I really like that one. But let's show a few more things that Google Docs has to offer. So another cool thing that you might not be aware of is the various online templates that people have created within Google Docs that you can use at your own disposal. So let's just type in some Google templates in the search bar. So if we go to the first one here, we can see we have Google Templates. So since we're all teachers and we're going to be needing to create a resume soon, let's go down to CVs and cover letters. This should give us a resume template. So really all you got to go through, look at the description and see which one you find interesting. Let's just use this one just for this ease of use. So it's going to give you a little preview of what it has to offer, and if you want to use it, you just click use this template and it's going to put it in your Google Docs. It's as simple as that. You can easily edit from there. So you just type what you want it to be and you go from there. Another very interesting tool, you can also create your own templates, save them for your class and for your students to use. Hopefully you find this useful and potentially use in your class one day.
Well, that was Google Docs for you, a very interesting application you can use in your classroom to share documents student to student. Last but certainly not least, we have iGoogle to show you, an interactive homepage you can set up in your classroom that has many tools, gadgets, and widgets to meet your classroom needs. Now let's take a quick tour through iGoogle to finish out our tech tools for the day.
Well, here we are, already on the iGoogle homepage. So to have an iGoogle homepage, you have to set it up through your Gmail account again. So you could either have a personal one, or you could set up, say, a class email. On your Google homepage, it's essentially, as mentioned, an interactive homepage. So what you can do is add certain widgets, let's say a calendar, a task list, or it may be a few other things that could be useful in your classroom. As you can see here, I already added, say, National Geographic photos. So your students can look at those every day. You guys can discuss about them or comment about them. I have the weather down here. You can also go to add widgets and add certain widgets you may feel would be useful in your classroom. So let's see what's under communication, see what we can have everything. Well, you see here we have dictionary. Well, since this is a classroom, you know a dictionary is going to be very useful. So all you have to do is click add it now, and it's added to your list. A problem you may find you face in your class is trying to get homework done on time. So let's say if we search for a task list. So as you see here, we have a task list. Let's try this one and see what it's all about. So we'll add now, and we'll go back to iGoogle to see what it's like. So here we have Sean Rickman's list. So that's according to my email, but if we change it to a class list, we could have Mr. Rickman's class list. So if we edit it, let's go here. Here we go. See, we have notes. So we can add a due date from a calendar, and we'll say science homework due. You add that, move it to your list, and we're good to go. So if we go back to the list, that should appear on there. We didn't put a due date or anything on it, but that's something you can add later. So there's not very many interesting tech tools I can show you on iGoogle. It's more or less something you have to explore on your own to see what's going to meet your needs. Very interesting and cool, and something you can easily implement on as your home page or in your classroom.
Well, there you have it. Today we took a look at Google Earth, Google Docs, and iGoogle. Hopefully these three you found very useful, found some interesting tools you can use in your classroom. This isn't all Google has to offer though. They have many interesting apps and ideas that you can use in your classroom. So make sure you take the time, go through the apps, explore the internet, and see what they can do for you.
Thank you, Sean, for that fascinating journey through the world of Google tools. Well, that does it for us here at the BU News Desk. Till next time, stay classy, BU.